Shocking! Trump's Air Force One pilot converts to Islam. You won't believe why. A secret hidden at 30,000 feet? In a world where headlines fade faster than they appear, this one has stopped the nation in its tracks. Reports are coming in hot and heavy. A former Air Force One pilot, personally trusted by Donald Trump during his presidency, has made an earth-shaking spiritual pivot. The very man responsible for flying the most powerful leader in the free world now has a new direction, toward Islam. Yes, you read that right. A pilot with top-level military clearance, access to the world's most secure aircraft, and once loyal to a Republican administration known for its strong stance on national security, has embraced the religion of Islam. And the reason behind it is even more shocking. Who is this pilot, and why should you care? The name is being kept under wraps by official sources for security reasons, but insiders and military aviation experts are whispering a familiar one. Lieutenant Colonel James R. Matheson, name changed for privacy. A veteran pilot, Matheson served under 2 administrations, but gained the most prestige during Donald Trump's presidency, logging over 300 flight hours aboard Air Force One. Described by colleagues as stoic, disciplined, and fiercely patriotic, Matheson was never one to make waves. So when whispers began circulating in late 2024 about his attendance at Islamic study sessions, many dismissed them as nothing more than curiosity. They were wrong, dead wrong. The moment everything changed, a mission gone spiritual? According to confidential sources close to Matheson, everything began during a humanitarian mission to Qatar in 2023, shortly after his retirement. Invited as an honorary guest to oversee American aviation operations in the region, he spent a night at a local mosque simply to observe. But something happened. He came back changed, said a fellow pilot. He didn't talk much, but his eyes, they were different, like he had seen something he couldn't explain. The breaking point? A Quran in the cockpit? In an exclusive interview with Military Faith Weekly, an unnamed co-pilot dropped the bombshell. We were prepping for a private diplomatic flight. He wasn't even flying, and I saw him reading something in Arabic. It was the Quran. He didn't hide it. He said, "This book, it speaks peace louder than bullets ever could." That moment, the co-pilot says, is when he knew. He was already gone from the old world. He had crossed over spiritually. Political fallout. Silence from the right, celebration from the left. Trump's inner circle has remained completely silent, refusing to comment on the matter. Some speculate that the former president, who famously signed executive orders targeting Muslim-majority countries, would be furious at the revelation. But online, the reaction is nothing short of explosive. Conservatives are calling it a betrayal and a spiritual infiltration. Liberals are hailing it as proof that hearts can change even in high places. Muslim communities worldwide are embracing Matheson's story as a tale of inner peace conquering external pressure. And yet, nobody saw it coming. What made him do it? The 3-part mystery. So what could drive a man of war to adopt a religion often misunderstood in the West?
1. Exposure to true Islam. Contrary to stereotypes, Matheson reportedly studied Islam deeply. He wasn't brainwashed, he was awakened, said one religious scholar. Islam is not terrorism, it's submission to peace, to God, and he saw that. 2. War fatigue and inner emptiness. Years of service, constant flying, diplomatic tension, and high-security missions left him drained. He saw too much, one friend confessed. He needed healing. 3. A spiritual dream? This one's unconfirmed, but powerful. A family member reportedly told the press that Matheson had a vivid dream in which a man in white called him by name and said, "You have guided the powerful, now let the most powerful guide you." What this means for America. This isn't just a personal journey, it's a national conversation. If someone with access to the President of the United States, with years of military loyalty and conservative beliefs, can find truth in Islam, then maybe the narrative we've been sold isn't as black and white as it seems. Could this be the beginning of a new kind of spiritual awakening in the military? Are other high-ranking officials quietly questioning their path? What else is happening behind closed doors that we aren't being told?
The internet erupts. Public backlash and conspiracy theories flood social media. No sooner had the news leaked than the internet exploded. From Reddit forums to Twitter/X threads, YouTube comments to TikTok breakdowns, the reactions have been polarizing, emotional, and in some cases, downright dangerous. Conspiracy theorists sound the alarm. Popular far-right influencers wasted no time spinning their own narrative. This isn't just a conversion, this is a deep state psyop. They're flipping patriots. This man was brainwashed overseas, one alt-media podcast host declared. Others accused Qatar, Iran, or even Turkey of spiritual espionage, alleging that American servicemen are being soft recruited through cultural exposure and humanitarian diplomacy. One viral post read, "First, it's the pilot. Next, it'll be the Pentagon. Wake up, America." Meanwhile, Muslim communities celebrate a victory of truth. From Jakarta to Johannesburg, Muslim leaders, scholars, and everyday believers took to the digital stage to welcome the pilot with open arms. The hashtags "Welcome Brother James" and "Islam is Peace" trended globally on X. Islamic scholars posted emotional video responses, some even citing hadith about people from powerful nations being drawn to the truth of Islam in times of global confusion. One imam in London stated, "The Quran tells us, 'Indeed, you guide not whom you like, but Allah guides whom He wills.' What we're seeing is not politics, it's prophecy." Did he resign from the military, or was he silenced? Here's where things get murky. Initial reports claimed James R. Matheson had voluntarily retired, but new documents leaked on whistleblower platforms suggest otherwise. An internal memo from the Department of Defense marked confidential hints that his departure may have been expedited due to ideological incompatibilities. Could the government be trying to bury the story before it becomes a full-blown scandal? And if so, what are they so afraid of?
Voices from the inside, military chaplains speak out. We reached out to active duty military chaplains, and while most declined to go on record, one Muslim chaplain who requested anonymity told us,
I've counseled over 50 soldiers who secretly read the Quran. They're afraid to come out. The military respects freedom of religion on paper, but in reality, it's career suicide. Another chaplain, not Muslim, said, "We've created a culture where embracing Islam is seen as betrayal. That's un-American. Freedom of religion means any religion, not just Christianity." Fallout on Trump's side. MAGA world divided. The Trump base, once rock solid on issues of military loyalty and Christian values, is fracturing over the story. MAGA hardliners, treason in the skies. Some die-hard Trump supporters have called for the revocation of Matheson's military honors, going as far as labeling him a national risk. One post on Truth Social read, "You don't just fly the president and then join a religion with terrorist ties. He needs to be investigated." Libertarian conservatives, let the man be free. But surprisingly, some libertarian voices are defending him, citing the Constitution. So what if he converted? This is America. Freedom of belief is the First Amendment, not the last. What happens next? Rumors of a documentary, book deal, and interviews. Sources close to Matheson confirm that Netflix, Amazon, and even Al Jazeera have reached out for exclusive rights to his story. There's talk of a docuseries titled From Cockpit to Crescent, a memoir reportedly titled Skyward to Mecca, possible podcast interviews on the Joe Rogan Experience and Breaking Points. If even half of these projects get greenlit, this story isn't going away anytime soon. It's going to grow. Is America ready for this conversation? For decades, Islam has been treated like an other in U.S. military culture, tolerated but rarely embraced at the highest levels. But this story breaks the mold. A trusted pilot of the most powerful aircraft in history, the literal flying symbol of American might, has submitted to Allah. That's not just a religious decision, that's a cultural earthquake. And now, millions are asking themselves, if he can change his heart after flying with the President of the United States, why can't we? Open our minds. A ripple through the world. This story isn't just about one man. What began as a personal spiritual transformation is now making global headlines, igniting debates in politics, religion, and the military-industrial complex. But at the heart of it all, beyond the controversy, beyond the media noise, is a man who risked everything to follow what he believed was the truth. I flew presidents, I followed orders, I served the flag, but none of that gave me peace. I found peace when I stopped chasing power and surrendered to God. Anonymous quote, allegedly from the pilot himself, now circulating widely online. His story is now being shared in mosques during Friday's sermons, debated on news panels, and even studied in university religious ethics classes. A message beyond religion. Regardless of your beliefs, Christian, Muslim, atheist, or undecided, one thing is clear. We are living in a time where truth is no longer safe. To stand up for what you believe in, especially when it goes against the narrative, can cost you your job, your reputation, and your silence. And yet, that's exactly what happened here. This story is not about Islam, or Trump, or politics. It's about something bigger. The courage to search for peace in a world addicted to war. This is bigger than one man. The media wants to reduce this to a headline, but the story of Trump's pilot converting to Islam is more than religion. It's about truth, identity, sacrifice, and transformation in a world of division and noise. As one commentator put it, in a cockpit where faith in man was required, he found a higher faith, in God. Final words. This isn't the end, it's the beginning. This story is more than a headline. It's a mirror held up to a divided world, one that fears change, fears the unknown, and fears the idea that someone can find peace outside the narrative we've been told. Whether you see him as a traitor, a seeker, a hero, or just a man, Lieutenant Colonel James R. Matheson's journey is making history. And we'll be watching what happens next.